I am the smile of the worm-cleansed skull. I am the regrets of those who remain and the restlessness of those who are gone. I am the haunt of mausoleums, the god of graves and age, of dust and dusk. I am Myrkul, Lord of Bones, for I am death, and I am not the end. I am a beginning.
How does one become immortal? Do you submit to an undead existence through vampirism or lichdom? Do you seek forbidden magical secrets to prolong your life, hoping that this one will be the last life-extending concoction you require? Nay, all things end. There is but one means of achieving the truest and purest form of immortality: legacy. Not the legacy that mortal kings and heroes have. Their cities are conquered, their legends overshadowed by others, all of them inevitably swallowed by time, including my own. I was the crown prince of Myrkul, Myrkul Bel Al-Khurisi. Who would care about me when at the end of my rule, withering away to make way for some spoiled brat to take my place? Nay, I desire a real legacy. True immortality is in never being forgotten, and mastery over death. Necromancy was my calling. It took decades, but I learned how to master death. Despite my gangly frame, a single wave of my hand could wither the greatest of the flaming fists to dusty bones. Then, with a cackling word, I could rise those bones once more as a puppet. Life and death were nothing more than states of being to me now, and moving between the two was almost trivial. But it didn't slow time. It did not earn me the timeless legacy I desired. My legend would rise for a time, but I knew that soon it would fall, when my undead minions were all slain and my own life destroyed. I spent many an hour ruminating on the futility of it all, until the day I met them, Bane and Baal. Bane was not like me. He was loud, charming, boisterous, a kingly figure if ever there was one. But I always got the sense he was trying a little too hard. Baal had his own charms, but where Bane had the charisma of a powerful warlord or military general, Baal had the look of a dog who just so happened to grow a taste for human flesh. Still, there was no denying he was a master with a dagger. There was artistry in his killing strokes, though I didn't like the look he gave me most times. Above all else, they had ambition. Such were their fires that it even warmed my old bones. They needed a wizard, a necromancer in their ranks. I had walked the adventurer's life before in search of my magical secrets, and my ability to stave off death would be welcomed in their search for godhood. Godhood! I was going to laugh them away as fools, but something clicked. What all my spellbooks and scrolls failed to tell me. The gods could not be killed by ordinary means, or indeed most magical means. Their domains gave them status and power in the cosmos itself, and their worshippers ensured that their will be done and parted even more power unto them. That was it, the true immortality I was looking for. Even the most ancient of gods were still spoken of in hushed tones and whispers. Even when they were gone, their domains at least were never truly forgotten. My new allies wished to know which god to usurp, and through my research, I led them to the only one that mattered, Jurgul, the god of death and the dead, the final end. My newfound companions had their uses, but I was the one who opened a path into Hades and found the scribe of the dead. Jurgul seemed bored with his eternal duties and willingly gave up his powers and portfolio to us, over a game of knucklebones no less. Far more preferable to a fight. I wouldn't want to lose my allies this soon into the game, though they would make grand undead minions. Bane was victorious in our three-way game of Knucklebones, so he got to pick first. I was rather miffed at my failing to outmaneuver him. But Knucklebones was just as much a game of chance as it was strategy. The tyrant just got lucky. He took on the portfolios of control and domination to become, quote, the ultimate tyrant. Certainly fits his M.O. Bane was ever grasping for power. Not power over life and death, but power to influence others, forcing them to do his bidding. If he wanted servants so badly, he could just turn them into zombies. I could tell from the smirk on his face, he thought this would grant him power over me as well. What a fool. I would be subservient to no one. Not even you, my friend. I easily bested Baal in the second game. The madman had little patience or talents for anything other than whatever throat he was slitting at the time. I ignored the, thankfully metaphorical, daggers he stared into my side, and spoke with confidence in that I made the correct choice in this divine power grab. I choose the dead, and by doing so, I truly win, for all things must die, even gods. My meaning was well learnt, if not well taken, by my allies turned rivals. Bane's body was still, but his eyes were boiling with rage. The one thing he hated more than people not doing what he told them to was them leaving his iron grip, and eventually death would take them. Then they would be mine. Baal took his power and raved on, but I didn't much care. Let the bloodthirsty dog bark. I was beyond his appetites now. I was a god of the dead. I retreated to the Underworld to oversee my new domain. I would not endlessly catalogue the dead as my predecessor had done. I was to build my legacy, the legacy of death. My worshippers would work out of fear and spread that fear of me, the fear of death. The only thing that is always in the back of the minds of mortal creatures, the only thing that would never be forgotten. Being worshipped and being dreaded are two sides of the same coin, after all. I don't care if they sing my praises or not, as long as I was never forgotten, and always given due respect. Once one of my old chosen did not do this. As he grew in power, his fear of me lessened. The fool even rebelled. I stripped my former chosen of all his power, and let plague spread amongst his people. Then I sent him loose on Faerun, the Faceless Man, the Soul Eater. A wretched, faceless abomination with a hunger for mortal souls, my symbol carved into his featureless face. But despite all this, I was not at the very top. There were beings still beyond my ken even now, other gods of greater influence and power. Bane came to me again and asked for my help in correcting this. If we could steal the Tablet of Fates from Eo, then the power of the Overdeity would be ours. We could reshape reality in our will and usurp the Overdeity. The end result of this heist was our banishment from godhood, along with nearly all other gods. The time of troubles had begun. But this wasn't enough to quell our ambitions. I informed Bane that the ritual of mass death and consuming enough powerful mortal souls would see him return to godhood in spite of Eo's banishment. Ever hungry for power and influence, he took the bait, and I made away with the Tablet of Fates. However, my deific fall saw the tablet broken. I held but one half. The other was held by a mortal hero named Midnight. My undead minions tracked her down in Waterdeep, and as they distracted her, I stole away the second half of the tablet and made back for the celestial stairway. But I had miscalculated. Midnight was no mortal mage. She was an avatar of Mystra herself, the former goddess of magic, and that upstart death god Cyric ambushed me. What divine power over death that my body still held erupted out of me in an explosion of plague and death. To this day, the site of my death is known as the Mire of Dead Men, and remains the domain of the undead. No wizard worth their salt is without a contingency plan. As Cyric greedily gobbled up my divine authority over the dead, I whisked away a small part of myself into this. The crown of horns, the crown you now hold, placeth my crown upon your head. Use my power. Make my legacy your own, and together we will finally achieve true immortality.
I am death. I am Myrkul, and I shall not be forgotten.
Death walks behind each of us every day. Nay, don't look back nor try to run. No one can outrun his fate, though many try strange and elaborate ways of doing so. Death is patient, and comes for you when he's ready, oft when you least expect him and least want him. It is the way of death. Thank you for watching. On this channel, I put together narrative D&D lore videos. A special thank you to my patrons who help keep the channel going and bringing more content to you. You can become a patron too and see all of my videos early and totally ad-free, as well as vote on next video topics. Also be sure to like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, and check out these other videos. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!